There you go again. This is my Cooking with Pawpaw. I'm Dave. We're going to make some banana nut muffins now. Okay, to make banana nut muffins, we need 3 ripe bananas, 3/4 cup of sugar, 1 egg, 1/3 cup of cooking oil, 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and we got a teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We got 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and if you want to, you can add 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. It's optional. I'm not using it. We got 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. We had 3/4 cup of chopped up walnuts. We got 2 tablespoons of butter melting on the stove. Okay, and in order to make these, hang on a minute. It says mashed bananas. So how do you mash a banana? I don't know. So we're going to put our bananas in here. And squash them. In a large bowl. We got them in a large bowl, eh? This is part 2 of our order for the weekend, our big order. Okay, we got our bananas in there. And I got my trusty wooden spoon. We're going to see if we can mash them up with a wooden spoon. If not, I'm going to get a masher. It looks like we're going to have to get a masher because the spoon just don't want to do it to it. So we're going to grab a tater masher. Hello, tater masher, where are you? Alright, we got a tater masher. And now we're going to mash these bananas up. And wow, man. Didn't know bananas were that hard to mash, man. They don't want to go. They don't want to squish. They want to stay whole. Yeah. Alright, I think we're getting them mashed up now. They look like a little baby food. That's what they look like. Okay. We got our bananas mashed up. We're going to put our masher in the sink. And it says add sugar, egg, and oil. There goes sugar. Blow the kiss. Yeah, sugar. Since the humor dies. Hang on, the nose is itching. Gotta wash my hand. Okay. And let's see where else we got to put in this mess. Here's bananas. Alright, it says put the sugar, the egg, and back to the sink to wash my hands. And I think it said oil. And let's see if I'm right. And oil, yes. And we're going to dump our oil in. We're going to scrape out our oil with our trusty spatula. Okay. And it says mix well, and then add flour and everything else. So we're going to stir this up, see if we can get it to come together. And some kind of form anyway. All right, we got that done. It says add, mix well. Okay, well. I think it's mixed well. What do y'all think? Okay, now let's go with the flour. Baking soda, baking powder, salt. Then cinnamon. And hey, mix. All right, we're gonna mix this up. Then we'll add a few nuts. Ah! Not myself, but a few nuts anyway. That way we got nuts through our muffins. And we got the oven preheated to 350. We just left it on from our pumpkin muffins we made a while ago, pumpkin spice. I just left the oven on when they come out. And it's still preheated. I got my muffin pans over here with new papers in them and ready to go. Getting all this flour scraped down off the sides. And you want to make sure all the flour is incorporated and there's no stray flour in them because you don't want stray flour in your muffins. So we don't have no stray flour coming up now. So we're going to put, I don't know, quarter cup of nuts in it. Just a few. Try to break them up a little bit more. And give it a couple of swicks around here with the spoon. Okay. Then we're going to scrape our wooden spoon off. Because we're going to use a tablespoon again to fill our papers in our pan. Okay. Let me grab our pan. And we'll get at it here. Okay, whoa, almost done it again. Our butter's melted, so I'm pulling it off the stove. All right, now, I got my tablespoon. We're going to fill these up. And hopefully it goes a little bit better this time than it did last time. I think it will. Not 100% sure, but I think we're a little bit better off this time than we was the last time. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Like I said, we're putting a tablespoon in each cup. And you don't want it on your pan. We're going to go back and cap these off a little bit. Just a little bit because we got to put the topping on them. So, we're going to do that. We got to make the topping still with the remainder of the nuts and the brown sugar and the butter that's on the stove. That's going to be our topping for them. And after this, I'm going to take a few second break or a few minute break. And then you're going to make some gingerbread cookies. Got to make a dozen of those. And we'll see how that turns out. We've done that one before. I had me Maya with me when we done those last time. But we made those in all different shapes. Today we're going to make round ones. Because they didn't ask for a specific shape. And don't make fun of the way I talk. I'm a hillbilly. Okay. So, we're getting these things filled up. And I think we'll have enough for 6 more. The way it's looking. Which is fine and dandy because I got another pan over here for 6. So that'll work out amazing, huh? Okay. Let's go back and top these off a little bit better. Where it is kind of a full cup. At least 85% full. Because you don't want to be stingy on your muffins because you want them to pop up. You know, because if not, what's a muffin without a muffin top, right? That's what I say. But we got those here going good. Then we'll make the topping for them. And get that on and then we'll bake them. All right, now let's get the other pan. Oh, here it is. Here it is, George. The other pan. All right, I'm gonna slide that one back here while we fill this one up. And like I said, about a tablespoon and a half is all it's taking for these. So we're good. I think we're gonna get 6 more. Out. Maybe not. Okay. Let me scrape the bowl. And we're going to end up with 5 more. Which is all fine and dandy. There's our, they're in the pan now, okay? So, we didn't need to whisk. Okay, so, now we got to make the topping for them. Let me clean my table off a little bit, and then we'll make the topping. Okay, so, it's brown sugar, butter, and the nuts. Is how I make the topping. I'm gonna need my spoons back, so I got a wash those. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna pause y'all for a minute for station identification. Ah!